Hello, this is John, and I'm going to show you real quick how to use the selection tools in Photoshop. So there are many ways to cut out pixels of an image, but I'm going to show you a few primary tools very quickly. So over here, it's a little hard to see the cursor, but I'm moving over to the left, and if you notice here, these tools are primarily used for cutting out pixels, and then once you do that, then you can use filters or apply image effects and so forth. Because Photoshop is pixel based, we have to tell Photoshop which pixels to manipulate. And so let me just show you very quickly here. There's a little black arrow on these icons. That means that there's other options. So if I hold down this, you can see there is the rectangular marquee tool, elliptical marquee tool. These single row ones I don't use very often, but basically what the name implies, that's what it does. But let me just show you very quickly these two. I'm going to use the rectangle tool, so say if I want to cut this out, obviously it's the wrong shape. So I'm going to switch over here to the circle elliptical tool, and if you hit Control D, that deselects, or you can go up here to the select menu option and you can do deselect here. If I want to select the whole entire image, I can go up here and say select all, or hit Control A for the keyboard shortcut. But really, if you have the layer selected, you don't need to select all for the most part. So let me just quickly show you here. If I click and drag here, you'll notice that it's a ellipse shape, but I want a circle. So what I'm going to do is Control D, deselect, and I'm going to hit the Shift key, and then you'll see that that constrains to a circle shape. The problem though is it's a little hard to align it. If I let go of the Shift key, lift up on the mouse, then I can click and drag this around to position, and I actually got lucky there where it's about the size I need. But I'm going to go ahead and deselect that one. A lot of times with circle shapes, what I do is I kind of aim for the middle, hit Alt to center it, Shift to constrain to a circle, and then I can go from the middle out. It's a little easier than trying to align it this way where I just hit the Shift key, and that's a little harder to line up. So let me go back here real quick. Alt to center it, Shift, and you can see that it's a little off right there. That's okay. What I could do is kind of position it into place, hit the select menu option, transform selection, and from here I can just kind of manipulate, basically get that in place. I'm kind of moving fast. Normally I'd be more concerned about precision. Once I'm happy with that, I'll just go ahead and hit the check to select that. And then from here I can cut, or I'm going to undo that, Control Z, or I can copy and paste. And then here now I have a new layer. So basically I selected that, create a new layer, and this is transparent now. So if I want, I can move this around here. Or I can apply a filter or whatnot. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this, go back to the original image, and show you a couple other options really quick. This is the freehand lasso tool. So if I want, I can draw shape around here. It's a little harder to draw with precision, so chances are good you're not going to use this too much, except for certain things, like maybe it comes in handy if you want to quickly cut out a bowling pin. What you can do too is you can add to selections, or you can subtract from selections. What I'm going to do is hit Control plus, and I'm on a PC by the way, so if you're on a Mac the keyboard shortcuts are different. Control plus, and then I'm going to hit the spacebar tool to drag. Now, Control Plus is basically like zooming in right here, but what's nice about using that keyboard shortcut is I don't have to switch tools. So I find that I use Control minus and Control plus quite a bit with the spacebar. So basically what I can do is, from here you can see that I messed up quite a bit, but that's okay. I can just go and I can add to the selections by hitting the Shift key, and then I can just go like that. I can add here and here. And like I said, I'm just kind of in a hurry to try to get through the tutorial. Now here you can see how it goes outside the edge. I want to get rid of that, so what I'm going to do is subtract from that selection by hitting the Alt key. So see how it turns into a minus, and then I can just kind of carve away at that. And as you can see, I can just kind of go around and add by hitting the Shift key, or subtracting by hitting the Alt key. And so there's lots of ways that there's also ways to use Quick Mask and so forth to get selections, but I wanted to just kind of show you these tools right now, and I'll get into masking and stuff later. Let's see, there are a couple other. Let me go ahead and deselect this. I hit Control D again, or remember it's select deselect. And here, there's the polygonal tool. This one does straight lines, and I actually find it's much easier to use because I can just do incremental taps to select the shape. So I'm just clicking down at the points, and I find this much easier to use than the free selection tool. And from here I can go and I can use combinations if I want here, switch back and forth. So sometimes you find that one tool works better than another. Same with here, if I want I can maybe use an elliptical shape for part, and then use the Shift key to use combination pieces. It's probably not a good example right there, but if I want I can just keep working at this. Oops, I hit the Alt key on accident, so I cut that out. So anyway, you get my point. I'm going to go ahead and deselect this. I'm going to zoom out, Control minus, Control plus, get back in here. There's also, let's see, did I show? Oh, magnetic lasso tool. This one kind of follows along the path here the best possible. I don't use this very much because it's a little unpredictable, and I'm actually, I don't know, faster with some of the other tools, but some people like this one. You can, with this tool though, it is nice. And too, by the way, you can change the feathering on these. But this one I can subtract from or add to using these tools, and it's essentially like plus and minus of the lasso tool. So moving on, I'm going to deselect this and then go to the quick selection tool. This one's kind of nice because if you click and drag, you can see that it checks for color groupings and so forth. And so here it very quickly selected the bowling ball. One problem is the shadow color. This bleeds into the shadow color. It's a little hard. You can use plus minus as well for this, and you can get rid of some of that. So if I kind of drag in here, you can see it disappears. Here again, it's a little unpredictable. You have to get good, and maybe if I stop using the other tools and really practice this, I would hone in on that. But sometimes it's really nice using these tools. I usually don't use it though, just because like I said, I've gotten pretty good at the other tools. But here, like I said, you can use combination tools too. So if I Control plus to kind of zoom in, and then use the spacebar again, I can go and I can add to this by selecting any of these tools, and then here again hitting the shift key to add to. Not doing a very good job at that, but anyway, you get my point. I can Alt to remove. So. And then the magic wand tool. Zoom out a little bit. Here, this is a great tool for selecting colors. But notice how when I click down, the previous selection disappears. So here again, I have to add to the selection by holding down the shift key, and then I can select multiple colors here within this range. Now notice how, let me deselect this, I want to show you. So notice how if I click this, it selects the black tool, the black color here. If I have the contiguous options selected, let me deselect this, then it only selects that color, but if it's off, then what it does is it selects all of this color range throughout the whole image. And so I'm going to deselect that. Sometimes you want that and other times you don't. So that's that option right there. And here is the tolerance. So if I had 0, then it's only going to select a very limited amount. It's basically only that single color. If I bump this up, you can see how it changes. So I'm going to go, and I think 255 is the limit. So if I go 255, it should select the whole image here. So I clicked on the image. Let's see. Yep. Well, just about. So there's a couple other colors that it didn't select. So there we go. So you want to kind of play around with this a little bit. So 50, you can see, did a nice job at cutting out most of that. Like I said, sometimes it's nice to get a majority of it and then use a combination of tools to deselect part. So I'm going to hit the Alt key and then deselect that top part. And you can see there's some more over here, some more bleed, so I'm going to deselect. I'll subtract from that. And so that's basically the primary selection tools, and I'll get into masking and so forth in my next tutorial.